when a determined nation elaborately plans for its own development and progress, apart from its political plans and economic schemes, it must necessarily look for its own cultural genius in order to impart, mold and polish the character of the individuals. Nation-building work starts with the discovery of a mental poise and a physical dynamism in the young, intelligent citizen. All the great thinkers, through their varied philosophical flight, have, in their final conclusions, realized the need for programs to evolve the individuals. By disciplining and thereby improving the individual, every culture tries to raise the tempo, quality and beauty of the total national life. A world ordered for progress through improved individuals, constituting the community, is the direction in which all philosophers and scriptural prophets preach and work. Bhagavad-gītā is a scripture which tries to integrate the personality of the individual student and make him capable of facing dynamically all his challenges in life. This will sound as a strange conclusion to all those who are educated in our modern concepts of the materialist. As exclusive students of the secular scriptures, our day's politicians, economists and scientists all over the world, in their totally extrovert consideration, come to the natural confusion that the individuals are saved when the world has improved. Thus we have instituted daring experiments in political thought, have pursued heroic adventures in the economic field, and have accomplished spectacular achievements in science. Politicians strive to bring concord into social life and maintain law and order in the community. Economists conceive schemes and plans to increase the wealth in the nation and redistribute it with equity and justice. The scientists, with selfless dedication, continuously seek to discover means of exploiting the rich treasures concealed within the folds of Mother Nature, to explore sources of energy and to tame them in order to help the people to harness and thus make their life more comfortable, more rich and more luxurious. By creating such an order in society and by developing the untapped wealth of a nation through planned economy, by applying the revealed knowledges of science, materialism strives to raise the standard of living of the people. It is obvious that the blessings of materialism can remove the agony of poverty, the sorrows of illness, the discomforts of a limited life within any underdeveloped community. But the philosophers unveil with convincing logic that in spite of highest standards of living that we may create for our community in the nation, man cannot yet feel happy in his ambitions and live contented in his relationships with others merely because he has plenty of food, clothing, shelter, and all other amenities of a peaceful and efficient national life. It is here that we feel the irresistible logic behind the view put forth by the Bhagavad-gītā. Man is an animal, an intelligent animal. Had he been just an animal, he would not need anything more than his physical comforts and security. But as highly developed a psychological being, he wants his emotional satisfaction, and being an intellectual being, he is restless and impatient with all imperfections. He is not merely a physical structure consisting of his body. He has also a mind and an intellect. The materialistic needs of the body can satisfy only the physical man, which is only a third part of an individual. 2/3 of each individual is not taken into consideration when materialism strives to satisfy merely the basic needs in a community. It is here that the process of total satisfaction revealed in the Bhagavad-gītā shines out as a beacon light for all the lovers of mankind and its destiny. In short, when the modern world in its materialistic viewpoint strives to bring about a higher standard of living by improving the world around man, the deep thinkers of the scriptures and the rational philosophers conclusively indicate that the happiness and glory of world depend upon the standard of life that the individuals come to live. Every nation must determine its own political institution and economic system and work out diligently the schemes that they evolve. So too, philosophers of the world have their exhaustive theories and detailed schemes for the development of human personality. Bhagavad-gītā not only indicates theories of the Hindu way of life, but she reveals certain definite schemes by which every individual can work out his own self-improvement. The nation is constituted of individual citizens. If the citizens are strong, efficient, industrious, self-sacrificing, that nation becomes great. If the individuals are selfish, immoral, idle and corrupt, it would be a sad nation indeed. In the individual redemption lies the national redemption and progress. In the Bhagavad-gītā, philosophical theories are couched in a language of least confusion, and she suggests schemes for self-improvement which are unique in their variety and effectiveness. They are most acceptable to the intelligent modern youth as they are direct, simple, and easy to do exercises for the unfoldment of personality in the students. Geeta addresses herself to the teenagers. Their mental problems, such as their nameless restlessnesses, impossible aspirations, unending desires, utter disillusionments, suffocating despairs, entombing dejections, and shattering confusions, nay, even their self-deluding sense of materialism in life, are all depicted in Arjuna, and Krishna's psychological treatment for the Pandava prince constitute the main theme of the Bhagavad-gītā. The youth of our country is experiencing today the need for an ideal that can supply for them a consistent motivation for self-sacrificing and dynamic action. It is natural for the youth to have the daring to plan, the irresistible urge to act, the enthusiasm to conceive, the energy to work, along with their shy impatience with all inefficiencies and ugly defects that they find in the world all around. Each one of these can release an avalanche of power and strength, energy and vitality, thought and action. To channelize these resources in the bosom of the heroic youth, they must be trained to study the problem of life and to evaluate each of them correctly. This calls for a special mental balance in each and an unerring intellectual self-application. With such a balanced mind and intellect, the youth will be able to arrive at potentially creative judgments and constructive conclusions. In the very midst of confusing situations, how to train the mind and intellect to evaluate and judge explosive conditions, threatening challenges, and suffocating situations. This know-how is explained exhaustively in the Bhagavad-gītā. Hence, the importance of this great divine song, the Bhagavad-gītā, in the rebuilding of our nation, in the rediscovery of the Bharatiya culture, in the ultimate development and growth of our young nation.